Now let's get the latest. We're now across to our reporter Natasha Phiri. Natasha, thank you so much, for your time. Well, of course, there was great speculation in terms of will the president actually address these allegations, and indeed he's broken his silence and he's spoken about it, saying, of course, that his integrity is intact and that he'll never steal from the public.
Indeed, Unati. Quite surprisingly, though, he broke his silence there towards the end of, the conference in his closing address, saying that, and like you've quite rightly alluded to the fact that he has never stolen, public funds. Unati is not involved in any criminal activities, and of course, he will allow the law enforcement agencies to actually do their job, and of course, those details will then unfold, quite shortly. But I mean, just also outside Unati, we tried to quiz him on this issue, saying that, why now? Why did you break your silence only now? I mean, it's been 2 years since this activity happened on your farm. Why did you not report it then? But the president saying that this issue is now with the police, and of course he will allow the authorities to actually do their job, but of course reiterating again that he was not involved in any criminal activities, no money laundering. But he was quite evasive when you asked how much was actually found on the farm, and of course he wouldn't answer those questions. But also just going back to proceedings inside conference, he lauded the province of Limpopo for holding what he terms a successful conference, Unati, and he's implored other ANC provinces to actually follow in the footsteps of this province, saying that it indeed is a benchmark of a provincial conference. But I'm actually joined by the newly elected provincial secretary of the ANC, Mr. Reuben. Thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. You seem quite satisfied with everything, how all the proceedings went. Would you say that this is a successful conference?
Thank you very much. Let me appreciate you and your viewers. We are very happy. This conference went according to its plan. There was not even a single minute which was lost. That's why you are seeing that we are closing the conference in time. Now what is left is for us to go and monitor our structures to implement the resolution of the conference. Remember, this conference, it was not an elective conference. It was a conference. Election was just part of the items that were there in the conference. It was a conference which were dealing with resolutions, discussion policy document for the upcoming National General Council. We are very happy, and I think you members of the media, you saw what was happening. You were moving around. We were giving you opportunity to report. Now we are very happy.
You talk about resolutions of the conference, we saw the discussion documents, but I mean, there was one contentious issue that, just speaking to delegates off the record, delegates are not happy with this. Some delegates are not happy with the step-aside rule. Some have called for it to be reviewed.
No, we have given you our conference declaration. Conference has requested not to be reviewed. It's saying it needs to be strengthened and be applied consistently. Let us not have a resolution for Limpopo and other provinces are treated different. And conference has given us that mandate. When we go to the National General Council, we would want to raise that the application of step-aside resolution, it should be done consistently. Remember, the step-aside resolution it's a resolution of the conference. So when you apply it, you must apply it in accordance with its background. We can't try and bring certain things which were not there in the conference. So it's not an issue of saying the conference is saying do away with step aside. No. It's not an issue of doing away with the step aside. It's an issue which has to do with its application, how we must strengthen its application, and we must be consistent.
looking at the composition of the PEC, we saw the newly elected PEC, the list, but now it's come to our attention that 5 MECs are not on that list. Yesterday, I know you can't answer for him. Yesterday we asked, will there be a cabinet reshuffle in the cards? You refuted this. You said cannot. Sorry about that. Our microphone just fell. Sorry, technology. But yesterday, you took us into confidence saying that it won't be the case. But now 5 MECs are excluded from that list. What's going to happen now?
Remember, the issue of the MECs, the prerogative of the Premier, the Provincial Secretary does not have jurisdiction on issues of government. We can't remote government. He has got powers given to him by the Constitution of the Republic. I am not at a position where I can make a comment about cabinet reshuffle or whatever. Is the responsibility and the prerogative of the Premier. What do we want ourselves? It's service provisioning to our communities. Our communities have got high expectation on us. That's what we want. And the Premier emphasized the issue of assessing cabinet, that the cabinet is normal in the Republic, that every May and April, members of the Provincial Executive Council, they are assessed. It's his call. It's not the responsibility of us to say whether there will be cabinet reshuffle or no cabinet reshuffle. I mean, it's his, and I will respect him and the powers that he has been given by the Constitution.
Your mandate as a collective.
Our mandate, you heard that the conference has mandated us to look at the issue of service provisioning to our communities. We have got the problem. You had also the President mentioning the issue of water in Guyana, that project. We need to make sure that our deployees fast track the issue of that project. The issue of our road infrastructure is very bad. The issue of electrification provisioning as well.
And water.
Those are the issues that we are going to focus on. We need to focus on the issue of the special economic zones. You have got Musina Makado special economic zones. You have got Fitakom towards the special economic zones. You heard the President is saying we are starting with Musina Makado. We are waiting for those projects. Those projects are going to create employment. Those projects are going to be massive to our communities.
Thank you so much for your time, and of course, all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reuben. There you have it from the newly elected Provincial Secretary of the ANC in Limpopo, Reuben, just talking about a number of issues. But it's also quite important to note, Unathi, that 5 MECs are not, on the list of the additionals, the new elected PEC. Yesterday, there was quite rife speculation of a cabinet reshuffle. We heard the Premier, the ANC provincial chairperson is also the Premier of the province refuting that speculation of a cabinet reshuffle. But I guess the proof is in the pudding. 5 MECs are not on that list. What needs to happen from now on? But of course, Unathi, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you all the live updates from the 10th provincial conference here of the ANC. Interesting developments. We heard the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa breaking his silence about the issue on his Phala Phala farm. But with that said, Unathi is back to you in studio.
And of course, as we wrap up the show, all of those highlights of what had transpired at that conference will be played back right here on the SABC News Channel. Full View is up next. Natasha Phiri, thank you so much for that update and also that interview with that newly appointed Secretary Reuben Madaze.